Where do we go live on? YouTube?
Okay, looks like we're live here. Welcome, this is the City Council meeting on Tuesday, April 21st, 2020. I'm going to give you a couple of things here before we get started. We're doing this a little differently. As you can see, there's only 3 of us up here. We'll get to roll call here in just a second. My other council members are joining us by phone and through Zoom. You can see them on the screen. And so we encourage our audience to participate with us through various telecommunications mediums that we have out there, whether it's YouTube or Facebook, or the city's Facebook page, etc. So, hey, there's Councilman Gussie with a cool background, so thank you. But we're going to get this show on the road here. Many thanks to Assistant City Manager Jennifer Brown, as well as the City Clerk, Tessa Boredas. They put together this on very short notice, dealing with the connections and technological shortfalls that we have here in the council chambers, and so we're fixing all those things. So hopefully we'll be live for you tonight, and if we have problems, please just let us know. We'll stop, reboot the system, and do what we need to do to make sure that everybody can participate. As you can clearly see, we have a social distancing going on up here. Here in the council chambers, we only have 9 people, so staying under the social distancing rules, but we still have a job to do. So with that, there's also, as per the agenda, an email address that you can email your questions in the appropriate times to the city clerk, and we can get those comments or questions put to the record at the appropriate measure. So with that, we'll move to the city clerk so that we can, we're going to move first to the invocation. And I guess Councilman Manfredi, are you doing that invocation?
No, I'm not.
Oh, well, that's what I have here.
I think we have them right down there.
There's Pastor Grady. All right. Well, then we're going to redo that. You're going to do the Pledge of Allegiance. I got mixed up on
All right, there we go.
That. Okay. Pastor Grady, would you please come forward? Thank you. Please rise.
I invite you to pray with me. Holy God, I give you thanks for our civic leaders here in Maricopa, and I pray that you would impress upon their hearts the great burden that they have to lead our city well. And I pray that you would equip them with wisdom to carry out that responsibility, especially now in this time of trial. We pray for those affected by this virus, physically, emotionally, and financially, and we ask that you would be near to them and comfort them. We ask that you would provide for their needs and that you would bring an end to the coronavirus swiftly, locally, nationally, and globally. And we thank you for this wonderful city that we live in, and we ask for your help that we might be good neighbors and good citizens, and that you would pour out your kindness and your blessing on our community. Amen.
Amen. Thank you.
Oh, you join us for the pledge?
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America.
United States of America.
To the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with
Liberty, justice for all.
Thank you. You may be seated. All right, we'll move to the roll call.
Councilmember Brown,
Present.
Councilwoman Gussie,
Here.
Councilmember Manfredi,
Here.
Councilmember Wade,
Here.
Councilmember Vidiello,
Here.
Vice Mayor Smith,
Here.
Mayor Price.
Here.
Mr. Mayor, we have a quorum.
Great, thank you. Again, many thanks to the council members that are participating by Zoom. As you know, City Clerk set this up, and so we'll all make sure we take our turns rotating if that's what it comes down to as we approach future city council meetings, so that we all have a chance to be in the chamber and others will have a chance to do this by Zoom. So, at this time, we have no proclamations, acknowledgements, and awards. I'll tell you this is a report from the mayor. I'm just going to give just a very brief update. As you know, COVID-19 is affecting everybody and everything in a variety of different ways, including our city council meetings and the way the city operates. We still have a job to do. We have lots of things going on. Your city council members are actively working for you on a day-to-day basis. They're just doing it a little differently than what perhaps you're used to. However, that being said, is that we are actively tracing and following the recommendations that are coming from the governor. As the governor has basically, through his state of emergency and his executive orders, basically said that in a statewide approach, that he would like to make sure that cities and towns are basically doing the same thing on a statewide basis. everyone has their opinions on whether that's the best thing or not, including me, but at this moment, we continue to follow the governor's recommendations. I do want to give some light at the end of the tunnel, so to speak, that, I think that the governor's orders do go until April 30th at this time. It is possible, again, not saying that's going to happen, it's possible that there may be some restrictions being lifted on May 1st. But we won't know until we get further on down this week and into next. And so just be cognizant. I think that no matter what starts to happen, if the economy starts to open back up and things are allowed differently than they are today, that they will be done so in a measured fashion, in a balanced fashion, one in which you're still going to have a variety of different restrictions, face masks, and social distancing, and those types of things will be with us for some time. So I just wanted to give you some idea that as soon as we know, as soon as the governor gives us the clearance, we'll be sure to let you all know in whatever medium and possible way that we can. So with that, I'm going to turn the time over to my council members if they have anything like to address this time. So, council, I'll start with the dais here. We'll start with Councilmember Wade, and then we'll move to those on the Zoom call.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. It seems like forever since we've been here together, so it's good to be here doing the work for the public. I just wanted to just to remind the public that the census is still active. You still have an opportunity to make sure that you respond to the census when it comes to you, or online or by telephone. It seems that Maricopa has been meeting closely to the national average, but we'd like to beat that out, and Maricopa tends to rise to the occasion, and I'm hopeful that when you have an opportunity to complete the census that you'll do so. It's very important to us. One other thing that I'd like to say, I had an opportunity to spend some time with a group of seniors and Vice Mayor Smith, and I'll let Vice Mayor Smith talk about some of the numerous things that have come out of that meeting. But one of the things that was important to me is that they felt that they were being listened to, that their needs were going to be met if they had some, that they had a place to communicate with a phone number to call in and what have you to get information. And so I just wanted to say that I appreciate Vice Mayor Smith as well as Joan, and I'm going to mess up Joan's last name, so I'm not Kuzier. Okay, Closure. So wanted to make sure that had an opportunity to say how great it is to be able to serve the community in those capacities. That's all that I have at this time, Mr. Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I'm switching microphones, as I was told the other one is not picking up as well. So, Councilmember Manfredi, do you have anything at this time?
Yeah, I don't want to go over what we've been doing over the past couple weeks, but just simply ask people of Maricopa to remain patient, understand that we on the council and at the city are doing as much as we can, as well as we can, to get stuff taken care of for you. One of the most important things we can do as a community is to make sure we're supporting the local businesses of the city of Maricopa. For many years, what we do is we ask local businesses to support our charities and to support Little League and to support everything that happens out there, youth soccer, and we ask all these businesses to do this, and now it's their turn. Local businesses are hemorrhaging. They're not doing that great right now. So we need people to shop local, buy stuff locally if you need it. Deal with the restaurants here locally. There's some restaurants that have turned themselves into food markets, actually. You can buy dry goods. So shop local, have stuff delivered, pick it up, be safe, and let us know how you're doing. Feel free to reach out to us. All of us are available. Our email is simple, citycouncil@maricopa-az.gov, and you actually talk to all of us at the same time. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember. I'm just going to go through each council member, and that way you can say yea or nay. Vice Mayor Smith, do you have anything?
Yes, thank you. I'm excited to speak just a little bit more about what Councilmember Wade spoke of, because to me it just exemplifies what a fantastic city that we live in, and that is the Copa Cares 2020. He's right. Joan Kozar, myself, and he attended the first meeting with about, if you count those that were online at the same time those that were in the room, there might have been about 40 people there. But the main concern was how to meet the needs of seniors who might be stuck in their homes and not able to get out during this trying period. But what we put together was even more fantastic than that. We made the food bank the center of the whole experience, such that you simply just call the food bank telephone number, and you can find that on our city website. You can see a whole flyer on Copa Cares. And basically, if you have a need for food, if you have a need for essentials, if you have a need for how do I get prescriptions delivered to my home since I can't go out, they have a plethora of questions and answers that they can provide. And we have, how the system came together to me was just amazing. I'm keeping a list of everyone involved, and right now we're probably sitting at about 30 different entities, from council members to the city itself to believe it or not, Arizona dairymen are providing milk to the food bank. Global Water, this is so fantastic because we put in a request to the state because we're seeing a 30 to 40% increase in need of food in the city of Maricopa for those who've lost their jobs and for seniors. And we put in a request for the state to cover us over the next 6 months for that 30 to 40% increase. Well, as you can imagine, it's hard working through that process, so we haven't received any funds there yet. But Global Water came through with a $20,000 donation. I'm sure you've read that in the papers and read that on Facebook and online. What an amazing gift that was to the food bank, because now they don't have to worry for the next 3 or 4 months. They can make sure that they can accommodate the needs. But also, I want to thank Councilwoman Gussie. I extended an offer to all of my council members to say, hey, what networks do you have and what can you work? And we're finding it hard to purchase mass amounts of food, as you can well imagine, because we can't find it on the grocery stores, right? And so Councilmember Gussie said, let me reach out to my veterans associations, and somehow we made our way over to O'Halloran's office, Representative O'Halloran's office, and he made our way to a restaurant that had the ability to buy mass food. And so Councilwoman Gussie and myself went in together with some of our discretionary funds to be able to meet a big need for the food bank. So that was fun, too. I consider this stuff fun because what am I elected for? I'm elected to help our citizens during times like this, and I know Councilwoman Gussie and Councilmember Wade would agree with me. Councilmember Wade has been volunteering at the food bank and volunteering at the food pantry. And so it's amazing when I finally, hopefully at some point, get to produce the list of organizations and individuals and churches that have helped out. I think Maricopa should stand up and be proud of how we come together in a time of need. Just recently, last Saturday, the food bank organized a senior day where they served 150 families with essentials, things that they can't find if they're not able to get into the stores, like toilet paper, sanitizing wipes, those types of things. 150 cars. I understood we needed to have some police help in organizing those cars. So what a success, and we'll have a second senior day coming up. So keep your eye on the city Facebook, the city website, and then the newsletter should all have that information. And then lastly, something that I think we should all be excited about, when you get to hear about the presentation on what the city manager and the staff has done regarding our 2020-21 budget. We just had our subcommittee of the council meet for the Budget Finance Committee, and I'm excited about how responsible this city has been and how I think we're probably going to be the poster child for how to operate your city and put yourself in a position when devastating things like this happen, that you can survive as a city government. I think it's going to be really exciting to talk about some of the details. So look forward to that. And that's it for me, Mayor.
Thank you, Vice Mayor Smith. We appreciate it. Councilmember Vidiello, anything?
Yes, everybody covered everything, and I just want to also say that the residents of Maricopa have done a great job supporting our restaurants, and they need to continue doing it. Like Vince said, we're always asking them for something, and now they need to come back and do the same. And I got to tell you, I'm pretty proud of a lot of the residents here that I run into. I myself am ordering 2 to 3 times a week, and unfortunately, I'm putting some pounds on. But overall, I'm really happy and satisfied with what the people here are doing, and just keep doing it. And again, we ask you to do stuff, and now it's time for you to do stuff back. So thank you, Maricopa. Thank you, council members, for everything you guys have been doing, and let's just all keep up the great work and keeping the city number one. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember. Councilwoman Gussie, anything this time?
I just wanted to add 2 items regarding the restaurants. Make sure that you're going to Maricopa Eats, maricopaeats.com. Great way to look for all the restaurants that are currently active, and you're giving back to and keeping those individuals employed within the city. So make sure you go to maricopaeats.com. And then the second item I had was Produce on Wheels had given us a call. They wanted to find a location to distribute their produce, 70 pounds of produce for $12. And the city of Maricopa stepped up. They accommodated at City Hall. Although in hindsight, we might move the location next month. But nonetheless, they had over 400 cars come through there, pick up the 70 pounds of produce. And it was fresh produce, tomatoes, everything that you could think of. It was a great event, and it was a successful event. There are a lot of community members that are in need, and this is a way for us to give back and make sure that we're using our facilities to facilitate it. And those are the only items that I have. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilwoman. Councilmember Brown, anything from you at this time?
Well, I tried to support, much like Vince said early on, and encourage citizens to support our local merchants. So I probably spent a lot more money doing that than I would normally do if they were up and running, especially as far as eating now. That's not anything that I would normally do. Normally eat at home, but to try to help those merchants the best I can, rather than doing that, I was able to a discretionary fund, give some money to the food bank. Hopefully that will help. And I noticed I also sent some money to the Food America fund. What's happening out of New York that Trevor Noah has been supporting out of New York, so I was able to send some money to them because they have a serious problem. New York State, New York City. So that's hopefully together we can, through prayer and contributions, we can help deal with this pandemic. I don't know that. Hopefully, as you suggest, Mayor, maybe May the 1st, but without proper testing, I don't know how that's going to be possible. But we'll see. Hopefully, we'll be able to do something approaching that.
Councilmember Brown, thank you so much for your donation to the food bank. I know it's very appreciated.
Thank you all very much. I'd just like to take a second and thank the council members. As you've all heard this evening, they're all passionate about doing something similar and different all at the same time. They've all stepped up in their own unique and measurable ways. They've certainly made my job easier. And so from the bottom of my heart and certainly from City of Maricopa, thank you very much for all you're doing. We really appreciate it this time and always, but certainly at this time when everyone stands in so much need. So thank you for coming together and working so hard on behalf of the City of Maricopa. Thank you, council members. That'll take us to a report from the city manager. City Manager Rick Horst has told me that he has nothing at this time, and so that'll take us through to the agenda. So we'll go to the meeting minutes, which is item 6. This is item 6.1, approval of minutes from March 17th, 2020. If there is any concerns on this, please let me know. Otherwise, I'd accept a motion to approve.
So moved.
So move.
Have a motion to approve from Councilmember Wade and a second from Councilmember Vitiello.
Sound like Brown.
I'm sorry?
Sound like it's
Brown.
Oh, was it Councilmember Brown? I apologize. So sorry if I get this wrong. The technology only allows us to see and do so much. So please let me know if I'm in error there. My apologies. With that, we have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion from the council members at this time? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? That motion carries unanimously. Thank you. Council, that takes us to item 7, which is the consent agenda. At this time, does anyone have any concerns on items 7.1 through 7.3 on the consent agenda at this time? Hearing none, we
Mr. Mayor.
we do have one question from Councilmember Wade.
Sorry. On resolution 7.2206, reference to fair housing. Just wanted to speak on that real shortly. The National Association of Real Estate Brokers celebrates what they call a Realtors Week every year, and they also include in there the recognition of the Fair Housing Act of 1968. That opportunity that they take is to recognize April as Fair Housing Month, which was part of the resolution that is in the agenda item. And I just wanted to speak towards that because it's something that we experience in my professional life as the Director of Housing and Counseling Services for Chicago's Public Housing. And I was very pleased that the city manager, excuse me, yourself, and the council members all agreed to recognize this as Fair Housing Month. It's just another one of those things that when we think about the community that we serve all the community, and we recognize all the things that benefits all our community members. So thank you very much for that. Just wanted to share that.
Thank you, Councilmember. Appreciate it. Okay, any other questions or concerns on the consent at this time? Seeing none, can I have a motion to approve, please, Council, and please state your name.
So moved. Councilmember Wade.
There's a motion from Councilmember Wade. Is there a second?
Second, Vice Mayor Smith.
I'll take a second from Vice Mayor Smith. There's been a first and a second. Any further discussion on these items? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? That motion carries unanimously. Thank you. That'll take us to item 8, which is the regular agenda. We do have some public hearings tonight, so we'll go through those. So bear with us. Again, the process for the public hearings, just for the public that may be watching, maybe in the foyer. If you wish to speak to the public hearing and you've attended the physical council meeting tonight, you may come to approach the door. We'll let you in one by one, and you can speak to that item when time is appropriate. And or if you've sent messages to the city clerk, we'll make sure those get read into the record. At this time, 8.1, which is PH 20-06, the mayor and city council shall hear public comment regarding the request by Mark Reddy of RVI Planning and Landscape Architecture to amend the general plan, future land use. This is map GPA 19-03 and zone map ZON 19-09 for approximately 16.95 acres, generally located northwest of the northwest corner of Bolin Road and John Wayne Parkway, or SR 347. So we'll turn the time over to Rudy. Rudy?
Mayor, council members, briefly, I'm just going to do a quick presentation for the public hearing as it relates to agenda items 8.2 and 8.3. There you go. As mentioned, this is a request by RVI Planning, Landscape Architecture for a proposed minor general plan amendment, land use change, allowing for zone change from existing zoning of general business to multiple unit residential. And again, these items reflect items 8.2 and 8.3 on your agenda. Bear with me. Go faster, go faster. Try to be brief here. To provide a better understanding of the commercial entitlement process, there are 4 steps to the city development process, which starts with adhering to the voter-approved general plan, followed by the applicable zoning, then followed by a development review permit, and ends with the building permit issuance of this project. Here are the general site information facts about the project, which can be found from your staff analysis attachment in the staff report. The project site shown in the outline and noted subject site is east of the Altera subdivision, west of John Wayne Parkway. The same subject area site map with the general plan land use layer. And then the same site, the site map, which now illustrates the zoning map itself. The applicant has completed the necessary public outreach requirements as set forth within the city zoning code and the state requirements for land use change. And at this time, staff has not received any public opposition for this request. The next set of slides are for reference only of the project, which received development review permit approval from the P&Z Commission for proposed multifamily development. Staff and the Zoning Commission commended the applicant for bringing a diverse housing product that is also unique in architectural character that will enhance the built environment in Maricopa. The Planning and Zoning Commission found the general plan amendment request consistent with the goals in the general plan, the city's adopted housing plan. And the Planning and Zoning Commission also found the proposed zone change to be compliant with the city zoning code for zone changes. For item 8.2 on the next item after this public hearing, general plan amendment request, the Planning and Zoning Commission recommended approval of the minor general plan amendment subject to the staff report as in conditions and as amended by the Planning and Zoning Commission. And as it relates to the following item after that, which is 8.3, the rezoning request, the Planning and Zoning Commission recommended approval of the zoning subject to a staff report and conditions stated in the staff report and is amended by the Planning and Zoning Commission. At this time, Mayor, council members, we ask that you open the public hearing for any comments.
Thank you, Rudy. I appreciate you explaining that to us. At this time, we'd like to open the public hearing process. If anyone would like to approach the podium or send us a comment on this particular issue and this particular issue only, you may do so. I see no one in the council chambers wanting to approach. Has there been any receipt of any comments or questions at this time, City Clerk? Okay, that answer is no. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and close the public hearing portion of this, item 8.1 at this time, and we'll move on to item 8.2. This is a resolution of 20-07, a resolution of the Mayor and City Council of the City of Maricopa, Arizona, approving and adopting a minor general plan land use amendment to change the land use from employment to high-density residential for approximately 16.95 acres of land generally located near the northwest corner of Boland Road and John Wayne Parkway, within the City of Maricopa Incorporated limits, as described in case GPA 19-03. The land is situated in a portion of Section 28, Township 4 South, Range 3 east of the Gila River and Salt Base and Meridian, Pinal County, Arizona. This is for discussion and action. Okay. And so with that, Council, do you have any concerns or questions as it's been explained to us at this time through the public hearing process? Any questions, Council?
Mayor, Vice Mayor Smith here.
Yes, Vice Mayor Smith, please proceed.
Yeah, so the only question that I have that I think I was able to answer in looking through all the data that were provided is I was concerned about traffic congestion, but I was happy to see how they've joined this community in with the community that it's adjacent to. And if my understanding is correct, cars will be able to access the site from the south, and then they would be able to exit the site from the north and the south, which I think allows for additional options and lessens the congestion in one particular area. Rudy, do I understand that correctly?
Councilmember Mayor, that is correct. There is access on the south, which is kind of like almost as a primary entrance, and then the north is almost as a secondary entrance. So 2 points of access provided from 2 separate roadways.
She's talking, but we can't hear her.
Vice Mayor Smith, we cannot hear you if you're speaking at the moment.
Thank you. I turned it
go.
off and then forgot to turn it back on. Thanks. Yes, and I like the fact that both exits lead directly to an exit onto 347 too, so that lessens the congestion there. So that answers my question, and I'm fine with that project then.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. Any other questions or concerns, Council?
I guess my only
Yes,
question
Councilmember
is
Manfredi.
when are they looking to break ground here? Or is it long-term planning happening?
Councilmember Mayor, to my understanding, they are pressing to submit plans fairly soon. So we just had a meeting with them last week to get their building permit submittal. So I will assume fairly soon to break ground.
Okay. And there's, it's okay. Don't worry about it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Okay. Well, Council, with no further questions at this time, we do need to move to a roll call, but before we can get there, we need to get to a motion in a second. Can I have a motion, please?
Mayor,
So moved.
Vice Mayor Smith, so moved.
All right, Vice Mayor, we have a motion from Vice Mayor Smith. Is there a second?
Second.
Second from Councilmember Wade. There's a motion and a second on the floor. Is there any further discussions at this time? Seeing none, we'll move to the roll call.
Vice Mayor Smith,
Yes?
Councilmember Vitiello,
Yes.
Councilmember Brown,
Yes.
Councilmember Manfredi,
Yes.
Councilwoman Gussie,
Yes.
Councilmember Wade,
Yes.
Mayor Price.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Great, thank you very much. The motion passes unanimously. That'll take us to item 8.3, which is the ordinance. An ordinance of the mayor and city council of the city of Maricopa, Arizona, approving and adopting an amendment to the city's zoning map to zone certain property described in zoning case ZON 19-09 for approximately 16.95 acres of land generally located near the northwest corner of Boland Road and John Wayne Parkway, SR 347, within the city of Maricopa Incorporated limits. The land is located in a portion of the southeast quarter of Section 28 of Township 4 South, Range 3 East of the Gila and Salt River Base and Meridian, Pinal County, Arizona. This is for discussion and action. Council, I assume you don't have any questions or concerns, considering we just had those answered on the last one, but if I'm wrong, please let me know. Otherwise, I would accept a motion to approve, please.
So moved. Rich Vitiello.
Motion by Councilmember Vitiello. Is there a second?
Vice Mayor Smith, second.
And a second by Vice Mayor Smith. Any further discussion on this item? Seeing none, we'll move to a roll call.
Councilmember Manfredi,
Yes.
Councilmember Wade,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Smith,
Yes.
Councilmember Vitiello,
Yes.
Councilwoman Gussie,
Yes.
Councilmember Brown,
Yes.
Mayor Price.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Great, thank you. The motion passes unanimously. Thank you, council members, for your assistance on that. That'll take us to item 8.4. This is the mayor and city council shall hear a public comment regarding the request by Dwayne Rudnick to amend the designated land use for approximately 4 acres as identified in the general plan future land use map, or GPA 19-04, and zone map change ZON 19-10 for approximately 4 acres generally located on the north side of Farrell Road, approximately 1/2 mile west of Porter, within the city of Maricopa's incorporated limits. So again, this is a public hearing, but before we get there, we'll let Rudy take it away and explain it.
Mayor, council members, again, briefly, I'll just do a quick presentation as it relates to the next 2 agenda items, which is the general plan amendment and the ordinance. As mentioned, there you go. As mentioned, this request is by Dwayne Rudnick, who's the property owner for a proposed minor general plan amendment and land use change from existing medium-density residential to commercial, along with a zone change from existing zoning of general rural to general commercial. These items are on your agenda for actions 8.5, 8.6. To provide a better understanding, again, of the commercial entitlement process, there are 4 steps in the city's development process, which is very similar to the previous agenda item. They're also at the general plan and rezoning stage, and then following the step 3 and 4 is the development review permit and building permit, which in fact, development review permit was approved by P&Z Commission at the last meeting there. Again, here are the project facts for the project, which can be found for your staff analysis attached to the staff report. The project site shown in the outline and noted subject site is east of the undeveloped subdivision of Santa Rosa Springs, Parcel 4, and west of Santa Rosa Wash along the Farrell Road existing roadway. Here's the subject site map with the general plan land use layer, and then also the zoning map layer with the same zoning map, same subject site map. The applicant has completed the necessary public outreach requirements as set forth from the city's zoning code requirements of the state land use changes, or state requirements for land use changes. The city did receive public opposition regarding the site development design as it relates to the proposed development use and building height. However, the site design was vetted through the Planning and Zoning Commission and was ultimately approved by the Planning and Zoning Commission for those design requirements. The Planning and Zoning Commission found the general plan amendment request to be consistent with the goals and objectives of the general plan, and the zone change was also found to be compliant with the requirements findings set forth within the city's zoning code. For item 8.5, the general plan amendment request, the Planning and Zoning Commission recommended approval of the minor general plan amendment, subject to a staff report and as amended by the Planning and Zoning Commission. For item 8.6, the rezoning request, the Planning and Zoning Commission also found it recommendation of approval to the site, subject to a staff report and conditions stated in the report and as amended by the Planning and Zoning Commission. With that, Mayor, council members, we ask that you open the public hearing for any comments, and then this presentation is related to the next 2 agenda items. Thank you.
Thank you, Rudy. We appreciate it. At this time, I'd like to open the public hearing for anyone that would like to approach the council. If they're here in the foyer, they may please come in one at a time. Seeing no one at this time, I'll move to the city clerk. Do we have any comments or anything that'd like to be read into the record at this time?
No, none.
That answer is no. Okay. With no public comment at this time on this particular agenda item, I will go ahead and close the public hearing, and we'll move to item Resolution 20-08. I'm not going to read the whole thing, and I'll do that on the ordinance. A resolution of the mayor and city council in the city of Maricopa, Arizona, approving and adopting a minor general plan land use amendment to change the land use from medium density residential to commercial for approximately 4 acres of land. At this time, council, you've just seen the presentation. Do you have any questions or concerns that you'd like answered from staff at this time?
Not at this time.
Mayor, Vice Mayor here.
Yes, Vice Mayor Smith, please proceed.
So I think this project sounds really interesting and pretty cool, but because I did see in the documentation actually 2 letters of concern, I just wanted to talk through it and make sure that we are considering the folks that live on the opposite side of the canal, which is Santa Rosa Springs. So we are changing the zoning from medium density residential, which if you can imagine, if you bought in Santa Rosa Springs, you look across the canal and you're anticipating that there's going to be residential there. And you decide at that point whether or not that's something that you can accept or not. And you're making that change to what's called commercial, which is interesting to me, which is why I wanted to talk a little bit about it. But basically, when you change from residential to commercial, you do have the chance of changing the makeup of the community from what those folks bought in Santa Rosa Springs, right? But I'm not necessarily saying that that's what's going to happen with this rezoning. But I think, again, I keep saying it's important to talk about and not dismiss the 2 concerns. So my understanding from the information is that during the neighborhood participation report, 7 people attended, and out of those 7 people, no items of concern were stated. Sorry, I'm looking at notes that I had to document. So no items of concern, no unfavorable remarks of the 7 people that attended the meeting, and in fact, all expressed admiration of the project. But there were 2 letters of concern. One came from Ralph Wooden. His concern was for changing his mountain view. And I think keeping in mind that when he purchased that property, he understood that across the canal it was going to be residential behind him, and that meant maybe a backyard, maybe a fence. But he spoke about the fence and the fact that there might be a fence there obstructing his view. Whereas I think that regardless of whether it's residential or commercial, you might have a fence there. And so changing the zoning didn't really concern me from that regard. But I am curious to know at this point, what will he see now based on his look across the canal and this particular project if we were to rezone?
Vice Mayor,
Rudy?
can you repeat that last statement in terms of, oh, go ahead.
Can we go back to the slide that shows the housing?
Yeah.
That'd
Well, can we
be
go back
easier
to the
to explain
presentation?
from.
Let me just scroll back here. I appreciate it. Thank you, Rick. Vice Mayor, can you go ahead and repeat that last statement in terms of your question?
So his main concern was that he wasn't anticipating seeing a fence there. However, I think that, he was worried about his mountain view. And I do believe that whether it's commercial or medium residential, there was the likelihood of a fence. If it was residence, somebody might have a fence in their backyard, right? If it's commercial, there might be a fence there. So I don't think it changes, but I am curious if the look changes significantly, if it is a fence. So based on this particular project, is the look, yeah, okay.
No, I got it. Vice Mayor, thank you for your clarification. You are correct. What's hard to tell, which I wish I could, I'll convey this verbally. As you notice, the subject site, it's an irregular lot. It's a good depth, very wide, but very linear in depth itself. So it's such an interesting lot that we actually commanded the applicant to come in here and actually find a way to develop the property. To the west of the subject site is Santa Rosa Springs, parcel 4. which has been platted a residential subdivision on that side, and that's going to be envisioned to have some type of community wall on the perimeters itself. And on the east side of the subject site is also rural zoning that has been coming to potential development of commercial itself. So this isn't stuck in between two developments that you're correct, Vice Mayor, that you'll have at least a walled in nature regardless of the site develops or not. So there'll be a walled in fence on the west side regardless with residential development, and on the east side with the potential development on that property as well.
And if I may add, this is
Yeah.
City Manager Horst. The lots to the west are not yet built. So the residents will know what's coming when they eventually buy lots. It's not even developed yet. The lots to the north, the width is about 150 feet.
Right.
So it's very narrow. And the distance between, and every one of those homes have a rear wall in their yards. So the distance between their rear wall over to the property in question is about 500-600 feet, maybe more than that. So I personally don't think it will be any different at all. In fact, I think it's probably less of an impediment. The two that wrote comments wrote them in without having heard the presentation or having seen any of the visuals. The 7 in attendance did hear the presentation and saw the visuals, and they're the ones who walked away with no concerns. So I think if the other two had had the opportunity to attend the meeting, they possibly could have also had their concerns eliminated as well.
Yeah, that was one of my questions is, did we reach out to these two folks to try to help them understand it? Christine Browntree was the second letter, and her concern, which was confusing to me, was the unsightly development in front of a residential homes community. What is she referring to there? Because if she's up against the canal and she's looking across the canal, she's not going to see. I mean, where's this opening entrance to the residential homes community that she's speaking of?
Well, first, there is no residential home community. I think she may have heard RV, meaning thinking it's a mobile home park or something like that. But in reality, it's garages to park mobile homes, or RVs rather, in. And most of them will have little man caves inside, nice amenities like that. But there is no opening to the backside along the canal at all.
That's correct.
Okay, thanks. I felt that it was probably a misinterpretation. And so basically what I'm seeing, and based on all the information I read and the answers that you provided here tonight, the bottom line is that rezoning this land doesn't change the makeup of the community just because it went from medium density residential to commercial. It in essence is going to look the same from across the canal, is how I analyzed the data that was provided. And I just wanted verification from you guys that that's your assessment as well.
That's how staff took it through the process of recommendation to the Planning and Zoning Commission, and that's how the Planning and Zoning Commission also felt as well.
Okay, thank you. And so, Mayor, with that, I could make a motion if there's no one else that has questions.
Thank you. I have a question here, Vice Mayor, before we take that motion. Thank you. I guess I just wanted additional clarification. I am under the auspice or the understanding that these will look a lot like the homes that are going up behind Copper Sky with the RV garages. Is that correct? Or what am I thinking about here then?
Mayor,
because this is being done commercial.
Mayor, council members, these are somewhat storage units, kind of like think about the Apex model, glorified man caves at best. They're not residential units at all. They're not to be built to live in. They're meant to be storing, at best maybe hobby shops, if that. But it's not to lease space. It's simply, or run a business. It's simply to store something they can't store within their current garage.
Got it. Okay, that was my question. Thank you. Yes, Councilmember Freddie.
Reading some of the stuff and going through some of the stuff, max height, 30 feet.
Yeah, the maximum height should be less. Oh, yeah. Let's say.
Oh. Yeah, I don't know where they went.
Yeah, Mayor, council members, the maximum height is typically 40 feet high, I believe, from the development review permit that the Planning and Zoning Commission reviewed.
Okay.
It doesn't include it here, but I'm pretty sure it's gonna be less than 40 feet
Yeah.
or so. So,
And then one of the complaints was the rooftop access or something like that, because people would be on their patio. So it's basically a glorified man cave where you park your RV inside, you have a couple friends over, have a couple beers or whatever it is, right? It's sort of apex for big stuff, right? So, yeah, I don't have a problem with it.
Okay. Council members, any other questions or concerns at this time? Councilwoman Gussie.
Yes, I just had a quick question. Rudy, is this the same property? I represented some clients on this property that has a residential home in the front. Is that still going to be included, or is that going to be knocked down?
That's gone.
Councilmember Mayor, that house that was there, that is the property. As part of this project, it will be demolished.
All right, thank you.
Any other questions or concerns, council?
Nope.
Okay, Vice Mayor, would you like to make a motion, please?
Certainly, Mayor. I move to approve this item.
Second.
Thank you, and there's a second from
Second the
Councilmember
motion.
Wade. Or, I'm sorry, Councilmember Manfredi, my apologies. Sorry, getting ahead of myself there. So a motion and a second, and, wait a second, we're on this one, sorry. Okay, 8.5 and a motion and a second. Let's move to a roll call.
All right. Councilmember Wade?
Yes.
Councilmember Manfredi?
Yes.
Councilmember Vitiello?
Yes.
Councilmember Brown?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Smith?
Yes.
Councilwoman Gussie?
Yes.
Mayor Price?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you very much. The motion passes unanimously. That'll take us to item 8.6. This is the ordinance. An ordinance of the mayor and the city council of the city of Maricopa, Arizona, approving and adopting an amendment to the city's zoning map to zone certain property described in zoning case ZON 19-10, approximately 4 acres of land generally located west of Porter Road and north of Farrell Road within the city of Maricopa incorporated limits. The land is located in a portion of section 35 of Township 4 South, range 3 East of the Gila and Salt River Base and Meridian, Pinal County, Arizona. This is for discussion and action. Again, we just went through the resolution. Any questions, council? Seeing none, can I have a motion to approve, please?
So move.
Have a motion from
Marvin,
Councilmember
Councilor
Wade.
Brown will move that.
Okay, we'll go ahead and take the motion from Councilmember Wade, and then Councilmember Brown, are you good with the second?
Yes.
Perfect. We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion, council members? Seeing none, we'll move to the roll call.
Councilwoman Gussie?
Yes.
Councilmember Brown?
Yes.
Councilmember Manfredi?
Yes.
Councilmember Wade?
Yes.
Councilmember Vitiello?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Smith?
We can get a new picture of Rudy.
Yes.
Mayor Price?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Great. Thank you very much. That passes unanimously as well. Thank you very much. That'll take us to item 8.7. This is an ordinance 20-04, an ordinance of the mayor of city council of the city of Maricopa, Arizona, approving and adopting an amendment to the city's zoning map to zone certain property described in zoning case PAD 20-03 for approximately 3.82 acres of land generally located at the southwest corner of North Graythorn Drive and North Martin Luther King Boulevard, within the city of Maricopa incorporated limits. The parcel of land is situated in a portion of section 34 of Township 4 South, range 3 East of the Gila and Salt River Base and Meridian, Pinal County, Arizona. This is for discussion and action. Rudy.
Mayor, council members, last one for the planning division. As mentioned, this is a request by Shea Colony Development, for a proposed zone change from the existing mixed-use general zoning district to planning development district. Again, to provide a better understanding of the commercial entitlement process, there are 3 steps in this case that the general plan's already been met. Now we're just doing rezoning and development review permit. This project is currently on step 1 and 2 concurrently, and then after this, they pursue the building permit issuance. Here are the general facts about the project, which can be found within the staff analysis attachment in the staff report. The project site shown in the outline and noted with the star is at the southwest corner of Great Thorn Drive and Martin Luther King Jr. Boulevard. The next illustrations gives the idea of the building massing for this development, which is being achieved with the PAD zoning district itself, which provides the developer more flexibility in site design rather than using the city's zoning district, which is a little bit limited on this. So the PAD provides this type of fluctuation of building massing. The Planning and Zoning Commission found the proposed zone change to be compliant with the city zone code for zone changes, and Planning and Zoning Commission recommended approval of the rezoning subject to a staff report and conditions stated in the report and as amended by the Planning and Zoning Commission. Mayor, council members will be more than happy to answer any questions, if any.
Council, any questions at this time on this item? Let's start with Councilman Manfredi.
There's nobody within 300 feet of this to notify, correct?
Councilmember, Mayor, no, within 300 feet, it was all the city property
Right.
itself, so.
Did we hear from anyone outside the 300 that, I mean, this has been talked about for months and months and months. Have we heard from anybody that's opposed?
Mayor, council members, we have not.
Thank you.
It was publicly noticed, though, through
Yeah.
the other.
Council members, I don't have your faces up on my screen at the moment, so if you're waving at me, I can't see you. Can you just
There
let
they
me
are.
know if you have any comments or concerns at this time? Okay, seeing no one, I would like to ask for a motion, please.
So moved.
I have a motion from Councilmember Manfredi. Is there a second?
Second, Rich Vitiello.
Second by Councilmember Vitiello. We have a motion and a second on the table. Any final concerns or thoughts? Seeing none, we'll move to the roll call.
Vice Mayor Smith,
Yes.
Councilmember Vitiello,
Yes.
Councilmember Brown,
Yes.
Councilmember Manfredi,
Yes.
Councilwoman Gussie,
Yes.
Councilmember Wade,
Yes.
Mayor Price.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Great. Thank you very much. Well, that concludes our agenda for this evening. Council, to you and to the public, I thank you for your patience as we work through our somewhat new way of doing things here through the technology, and for, again, your patience if that doesn't always go as we had planned. But nevertheless, we will plan on, at this moment, reconvening for our first meeting in May, unless something should come up. So we'll keep you posted. But so far, we are on track and on plan to have the first and second meetings in May. So with that, we will let you know. And can I have a motion to adjourn this meeting, please?
So moved.
A motion by Councilmember Wade and a second by Councilmember Brown. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? The motion carries. Thank you. Have a wonderful evening. We'll see you here in a few weeks. Bye-bye.
Hi, guys.